Hey everyone, Morgan here. So today's video, I wanted to do my top 10 video for this week. I haven't done it yet, and I really like doing these top 10 videos. So for this week's topic, I wanted to do top 10 skills to learn first as a prepper. So here are the top 10 skills to learn first in no particular order, okay? And then I want you guys to comment down below and tell me what your top 10 skills would be that you think preppers should learn first. First one is going to be mindset. Without a proper mindset, you really can't get properly through an emergency or disaster. Your mind can easily make or break you very, very quickly. So making our mind strong is going to be extremely important. Next one is going to be plant identification and small game hunting. I put these two in the same category because I think that it kind of goes in the same category, but plant identification is a skill that I think everybody should know. There's so many plants that look alike, and there's in fact just a plant outside my house that I just discovered was not edible, even though it has these nice little red berries on them, totally poisonous. So plant identification is very, very important, and small game hunting, because I think small game hunting of like squirrels, rats, whatever, is going to be a little bit easier than trying to go out and get a deer every day or something, The next one is going to be fitness. Just like our minds, we rely on our bodies to get us through. So the better off we can be physically fit, the better off we're going to be able to handle an emergency or disaster. Next one is going to be preserving food. Do you know how to can? Do you know how to dehydrate? Do you know how to smoke foods? And not with like a smoker, but do you know how to smoke foods, like setting up your own little, DIY smoker and things like that. Next one is going to be hygiene. And I'm not talking about, learning how to bathe yourself or something things. I'm talking about hygiene as in, what are you going to do if you no longer have, the running water? If you no longer have a working sewer or septic or whatever, these are skills that people need to know on how to deal with our hygiene issues in an emergency or disaster. The next one is going to be defense, as in self-defense and home defense. What sort of defensive systems do you have in place for yourself and for your home? And it's definitely skills that we need to work on. Next one is going to be find and purify water. Finding water is a big skill, and then knowing many, many different ways to purify water is going to be a huge asset. Next one is going to be how to fix things. How to fix things around the house, how to fix your gear, just how to fix things. And it's not just like looking at something and saying, I'm going to put duct tape on this, but how maybe could you fix it permanently? How could you change it to make it better? Do you know how to fix things? The next one is going to be any sort of medical first aid. I feel pretty confident in my medical and first aid now, but I don't have any official training of it. And so, I really train very, very hard on my medical and first aid training. And so, because I know that's a big weakness for me. And so, or it's not a weakness anymore, but it used to be a really big weakness. So I studied really hard on it. But medical and first aid is absolutely 100% necessary. And the last one is going to be gardening. I could have put this with like the small game and the plant identification, but gardening in itself is a skill that is just, I feel like when it is talked about, people just poo-poo it, but it can really extend the life of your food storage if you plant appropriately. If you have like 3 months worth of food storage and, you got to get planting to, get these crops up, because it'll take 3 months for these crops to, produce or whatever the case may be. Well, then okay, well, I'm going to get this garden going now, if you can, right? Let's say you could plant indoors. You have the ability to do that. Let's say you have a little greenhouse. There's lots of different ways that you could do things. You don't have to do things, just outside in big planters or pots or whatever it is. So gardening is a skill, and one that needs to be learned in a variety of different ways. So when we're thinking about the skills we want to learn first as preppers, we want to evaluate our strengths and weaknesses, okay? If you're already really strong in a certain area, I wouldn't so much focus on that right now. I would focus on something else. Like I said earlier about the first aid, I'm weak with that, or I was weak with that. And so I trained and I studied and I studied, and now I'm feeling really, really confident with it. But I understood my weakness and I knew it, and I did my best to make sure that it was no longer going to be a weakness, right? Now I'm going to move on to a different weakness and really strengthen that up. But anyway, there are so many skills that we can learn. These are just the top 10 ideas that maybe we could start out with. And of course, again, evaluate your strengths and weaknesses, write out lists of everything you want to learn, maybe everything you feel confident with, and then all your weaknesses, and then go from there about what you'd like to learn and study. Thank you all so much for watching. Conquer tomorrow by preparing today. Talk to y'all tomorrow. Bye.